Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a guilt-free ice cream. Now I want to be really clear about what this is. This is an ice cream alternative, but it has no refined sugar, no fat. For all you folks with dairy allergies, it's dairy free. And it is very delicious, it is very creamy, and it is a good substitute for ice cream. Now when my kids were little, I used to make banana milkshakes. And they loved them. They still drink them. They still talk about them. And it's basically a banana smoothie. Frozen bananas, or bananas in general, you can buy the big bags of bananas marked down that are already ripe. And if you've got a crowd to feed or you're on a budget, peel them, put them in the freezer, and there's a lot of uses for frozen bananas. And this is another one. What the banana does is it gives you the creaminess in the ice cream. But no matter what flavor you add to it, it will always have that banana taste in it. You're going to taste the banana. I'm not going to lie to you and say if you make peach ice cream out of it, you're not going to still taste the banana in the background, or strawberry, or chocolate. You can make it in any flavor though, and it will be like ice cream. But you do get the banana flavor, obviously, because it's a banana base. So let's get started. The first thing you need is you need bananas, ripe bananas. You need to peel them and freeze them. And you do want to freeze them first. It will work if you don't freeze them, but it's creamier if you freeze them. And I have 6 bananas here. Most of the time, I do like 3 bananas at a time. And I'm going to give you the ingredients for 3 bananas, but I'm using 6 because I'm going to divide it up and show you some chocolate and some vanilla and some strawberry made with this banana base. And you can just put them in a bag or wrap them in freezer paper or anything to put them in the freezer and freeze them. Break them up a little bit. You can make this in a blender. You can make it in a smoothie maker. You can make it with a little hand blender, which is what I'm going to use today. And you want to start by blending your bananas until they're smooth. I kind of prefer the hand blender for this because this is so thick. If you put it in a regular blender or even in your smoothie maker, it's going to kind of make that hole in there, and then it's not going to drop down into the blender blades, and you're going to be poking at it and stuff trying to get it to blend. But if you use the hand blender, you can move it up and down and blend it much easier, I think. But like I said, any kind of blender will work, or a food processor. Okay, once you've got your bananas blended up, and I'm going to give you the ingredients for 3 bananas. So for every 3 bananas, to sweeten it, I use honey. You could also use maple syrup, and if money is more of a problem than the kind of sweetener that's in it, you can also use regular old white refined sugar. I know when the kids were growing up, most of the time I could not have afforded to sweeten this with honey or maple syrup. I like the flavor of the honey better because it's more of a neutral flavor. If you put the maple syrup in it, then again, any flavor you add to it, you're going to have that maple flavor in the background that you can taste. So that's why I use honey. But for every 3 bananas, and you will want to adjust this based on what other fruit you're adding in and your particular taste. And I said this is a more diabetic friendly recipe. That's because honey is easier to digest. It doesn't raise your glucose levels as much or as fast. And of course, if you're diabetic, it's better if you use less. But like Brett says all the time, there's a reason why he's diabetic. He really has a sweet tooth, so he likes more. You want between 2 and 3 tablespoons, or that's what I usually use, usually closer to 2 tablespoons for every 3 bananas. But if you want it sweeter, add more. And like I said, if your budget is more of a concern than your blood sugar levels or your calorie count, you can definitely use regular sugar in this. When the kids were little and I made them banana milkshakes, I always use regular sugar because it's cheaper. But go ahead and add your sweetener, whatever kind you want, and you really can make it without adding any sweetener because the ripe bananas are pretty sweet. I probably wouldn't do chocolate without adding sweetener because we're going to use unsweetened cocoa to that, and it would be very, very bland if you didn't add some kind of sweetener to it. Maple syrup, sugar, or honey, something. But like I said, about 2 tablespoons per 3 bananas is what I do. And you also want vanilla. Even if you're going to do other flavors like strawberry and chocolate, the vanilla helps to... Well, I've talked about this in a lot of videos. The vanilla is a flavor enhancer. It doesn't necessarily just make stuff taste like vanilla. Especially in chocolate desserts, it really enhances that flavor. And in any kind of fruit dessert, the vanilla will enhance the flavor of the other fruit. So you want, and again, you will want to adjust this, 1 to 2 teaspoons of vanilla per 3 bananas. I'm using about 1.5 teaspoons for my, I've got about 3 teaspoons for my 6 bananas, so about 1.5 teaspoons is what I'm using. And again, adjust it to suit your taste. As you make this more, then you can change it so that it's the way that you like it. And give that a blend. If you want vanilla ice cream, that's all you do. You want to transfer this to some kind of airtight container, put it in the freezer for 3 hours at least until it gets nice and firm, and it will be very creamy, very smooth, about the consistency of vanilla soft serve. It even melts like ice cream. So it's going to give you that same kind of satisfaction as ice cream. And like I said, you can adjust the sweetness level in this. If you really want it sweeter, add more to it. And you can taste it right now before you freeze it and see if you want more sweetener in it or see if you want more vanilla in it. But if you want other flavors, and I always do the base this way. This is the base, and you can add any kind of fruit to it. We're going to do strawberries today. You could do peaches. Per cup of, per 3 bananas, you want about 1 cup of strawberries, maybe a peach or 1.5 peaches for 3 bananas. You could add cherries into it. I thought it would be really good, and I haven't tried it yet, with citrus in it. Maybe a tablespoon or so of lemon juice and a little bit of lemon zest. I love lemon stuff in the summertime especially. So I think the next flavor I'm going to try is some lemon. It is really good with the strawberries, really good with the chocolate. The peach is good. And this is also something, if you're making it for a whole lot of people, everybody can get their own flavor. You know, you can make several different flavors as long as you've got that fruit, and then everybody can pick a different flavor. Everybody doesn't have to have vanilla, or everybody doesn't have to have chocolate or strawberry. They can have what flavor they want. Let's see, my chocolate, per 3 bananas, you want about 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa. And I'm going to put that under my base because when I hit it with the blender, I don't want it to blow everywhere. So, and you know, it's hard to get cocoa to dissolve, especially in something cold. But because you're using the blender, it will dissolve and the blender will take all the lumps out of it. Now the vanilla, Brett, who says that there's a reason why he's diabetic all the time, he prefers the vanilla, and he prefers it dressed out like a sundae with a little chocolate syrup and a little whipped cream and stuff on it. And you can certainly do that. You can make the vanilla, and you can just add sundae toppings to it. Now, of course, if you add chocolate syrup, you're getting back into the refined sugar and stuff. But if you're making it, especially with your kids, they will enjoy making this. There's no cooking, no getting burned. It can be a fun summertime activity. And then when they're done, they get to make sundaes. So you can do the vanilla and do sundaes out of them and top them with chocolate or strawberry syrup and stuff like that. And you can see there just a little bit of blending, and the cocoa does dissolve right into the ice cream with no chocolate lumps or anything like that. And then the strawberries, we're just going to blend those up, and you can use fresh or frozen fruit in this. If you use frozen fruit, obviously it will refreeze much quicker than if you use fresh fruit. And that's all there is to making strawberry. And like I said, you can add any fruit to it. You could do strawberries, raspberries, blackberries are almost in season. Blueberries. I don't think I've ever had blueberry ice cream, but you could do that. You could even add cream cheese into this and make like a strawberry cheesecake ice cream. Just add a little cream cheese in it. You can make literally any flavor you want. You're just using the banana as your base. And the vanilla, and then you add whatever else you want. So get creative with it, have fun with it, and enjoy it, because it's something that you can eat without feeling guilty about it. It's basically just fruit with a little honey in it. And you know, even the chocolate, the unsweetened cocoa, is not bad for you. It actually has a lot of health benefits. So if you've been looking for a tasty treat that doesn't have a ton of sugar in it, doesn't have a ton of calories in it, and you know, I'd feel guilty about eating, especially this time of year. I mean, you know, who doesn't love a big bowl of ice cream when it's hot outside? And you can get creative and do sundaes and all kind of stuff with it, just whatever you want. But this gives you the basic Neapolitan, some ideas for some more flavors, and I want to kind of show you what it looks like when it's done. I've got some that I made earlier. And I do want to explain something to you. When you add like strawberries or peaches or any other kind of fruit, if you did cherries or blackberries or, you know, just about anything, there's a lot of water in this kind of fruit. And it's going to change the creaminess of it. Like the chocolate and the vanilla, you know, are fairly soft. Like I said, kind of like soft serve ice cream. You can see the spoon goes in them real easy. But the strawberry, because it has more sugar in it, is much harder. And you can also see here how these scooped out nice and round. The strawberry does not. The water in the fruit makes more like ice crystals, and it freezes much, much harder. But the chocolate and the vanilla are going to stay fairly soft. They're going to stay easy to scoop. If you do strawberry or peach or any other flavor, you're not going to get that. Even I think, and I haven't tried it, but even I think doing the lemon and adding the tablespoon of lemon juice to it or so is going to give you those same crystals, and it's going to freeze much harder, and it's not going to be as smooth, I guess. But that's the only real difference that I noticed in this and ice cream as far as texture goes. This is even going to melt and drip and run like regular ice cream. So give it a try. Make it with the kids, maybe something special on a weekend, or just a snack on a hot afternoon. Maybe if they've been to the park playing or been out riding bikes or something, you know, something special. And keep a bag of frozen bananas in the freezer and do the banana milkshakes and stuff, because kids love them. It's basically just this base here, and I did add some milk to it. It's a good way to get some extra calcium in on the kids. And you can add milk to this if you want to. You can add milk or cream. You can even add almond milk or soy milk or something to it, which would make it a little bit creamier and make it a little bit more like ice cream. But again, you don't have to. You can play with this base and add different flavors to it and add different things into it to make it more to suit your taste. But this will give you something that will satisfy that sweet tooth. It'll cool you down and it'll satisfy that urge to eat a big bowl of ice cream. It is very good, but you are going to taste the banana in any flavor. So I don't want people to make it and think that I lied to you and said it's just like ice cream. It's just like ice cream with a banana base. So keep that in mind as you make it, and keep that in mind as you pick other flavors, you know, to go with it. A banana flavor, though, goes with just about everything, so you don't need to worry about it too much. But you do need to keep that in mind, that you're going to have that flavor in the background. And like I said, that's one reason why I use the honey instead of the maple syrup, because if you use the maple syrup, you're going to have that maple flavor always in the background. Grab that bag of discounted bananas and give this one a try. Your kids will love it, and you'll have extra bananas for other things. Like all this here is only 6 bananas, and this is enough to feed, oh gosh, probably 6, 7 people anyway, maybe even 8 people. A big portion. Before we go, I want to leave y'all with 1 Corinthians 16:13. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith, quiet you like men, be strong. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I know that people are getting excited. Some people are probably more frightened now than they have been through this whole mess that's been going on for the last 1.5 years now. But now is the time when we need to watch and we need to be strong in our faith. And maybe be quiet and just wait and see and watch what happens, because I've got a feeling that God is really getting ready to show himself and show his strength. So you stay strong in your faith and you continue to pray. Be courageous. Don't give up, because we all know God wins in the end. It's at the end of the book. Thank you so much for joining us in the Hillbilly Kitchen. If you have not already, don't forget to click like and subscribe before you leave. And until next time, remember to put God first.